you. It's already time. Thank you, Rikavashkacha Protis. Thank you. Kalaloshim. I've got stories coming these days. Not shy. I want to tell you something. Lately, I'm giving answers to people that are people going to therapy for years. One answer, boom, the problem was licked on the spot. I got it on the one after another. I'm not loved up for if you daven first years ago, the Baal Shalom Bayis promise. Before every call, I davened. And it wasn't shy. Every guy had a, just now it's more major. Then it was like for the moment, I said the right thing, whatever. Here it's like turning over worlds in one word. I'll tell you something. I am not samach on me. But people like to talk. I have the most astounding Yeshua that you can't explain it. When your mom's on my case for years, he holds he has a bad mazel. He's sick. The Shalom buys his garbage. His kids shriek. I told you this story already. I worked with him for who knows how long, weeks and weeks. As soon as I decided I'm not getting it done, I'm leaving it up to the Eibishter, I told him I'm going to be davening. I'm not getting involved at all. And I had such brilliant ideas, and nothing was working. Hello. Hi, okay. So nothing was working. And I decided I'm leaving it up to the Eibishter. And I officially announced I'm out of the picture from now on. I'm leaving. I left the picture. The first week, I was told it got worse. And I decided it's because I didn't daven. I said, I'm going to daven. I'm going to lick this problem. Had enough. The people they hold they have a bad mazel. And since they're born, this goes on forever. And the house is turning over. What's going on? There's mamish unbelievable. The kids, the shalom bias, the health issues, the myonas, true, not true. All of the different relationship problems. Terrible. This no good with this, no good with that. And I says, I am being Masalik, I'm going to the Eibishter for this family. First week it got worse, despite my davening. I zugged them, I'm going to daven. Got worse? I says, watch, now I'm going to go to Nakshaya. The second week I davened. Boom! Within a few days, Nisim, everything I asked for. And they didn't know the exact nusach I was using. I was getting suddenly, the wife didn't know how to treat the husband. She used to say, suddenly, boom, for the first time in her life. I wasn't there. She said, kach v'kach, the husband's going crazy. And the first time, and I said, they need friends. Suddenly there's a telephone call from Yehuppets. Someone wants to be friends from nowhere. I said, they need that. Suddenly a friend's popping up from nowhere. Suddenly the kids are not so bad. The health. It was forever. Oh, here we go again. All different kinds of phobias and real and not in and out of the hospital. Suddenly, boom, no more pain. This is mamish within a few days. And the shalom bias is better, everything. And suddenly everyone's nice to me. They tell me, suddenly, what happened? Everyone's nice to me. The whole world changed. And I think my mazel is changing. That was my nusach. I don't know how much more I'm going to have to do with them at this moment. I had enough. You ever a miser like this? I have these things to say that I don't rely on people. I'm relying on Hashem. Now I have other cases where they're coming over to me. People, between you and me, we're human. We like to talk and give aids. I had a mamish. This guy called me up. His wife is totally non-communicative. And she's not. For years, he's suffering decades with this woman. There's nobody home. And his whole house is like he lives alone without any. I told him, and his wife is in therapy. And so I told the guy, they were all talking to the wall. Got a tough nut. You know, this lady's nobody home, locked up in 1,000 keys. There was something traumatic happened in her youth. And she can't act normal like what I'm saying. I have a few like that. The kids, I told this person on the phone, listen to me, you don't have to be friends. You don't have to have this from your wife. Forget it. Get involved in your work. You're chapping. I know people like that. There's 3 shutfas in a marriage. Husband, wife, Eibishter. You're going to the Eibishter. You get more mileage than anybody. Use him. Eibishter. Spend time with him. I told him one time, he says, I must call you back and take notes. For whatever reason, I decided I'm not getting involved. I had certain reasons I can't get involved in this case. Shem Shemayim, the reasons I had. And he kept calling me. I wasn't going to get involved. And I says, Eibishter, but I'm not letting them go. You're going to do things. You're going to straighten them out. And finally, I was speaking to someone, or to show whatever it is, suddenly they hear you clicking again. Okay, let's hear them already. The guy tells me on the phone, you made a moifus goli min shemayim. I went over to my wife and I told her, I decided I don't need this anymore from you. You could be the way you are. On the spot, boom, new wife. Oh, and you want to say in Teva what happened? When you don't stress somebody, he functions. The wife was like, did I know what I was saying there? I was totally the Abish. I have to tell him this, but I don't go with Teva. Teva's like the Diavad. Don't get me involved and complicate me and how to do it, but we're human and we want Teva. It's Gishma. I have a story to tell over. I'm going bananas. The Chachma that I used. If I decided I'm going to daven, I felt so sorry for the guy. I daven, and the Eitzah. So I'm touching up. When you don't stress somebody to be different, and he said it's official. From now on, he tells his wife, you don't have to. It's fine the way you are. I'm not going to nudge you anymore about that. And this is years, decades of going to therapists and try to get this lady to budge. Get it. And now, so I would say, I want to tell you something. I know younger man. He told me he went to Chaim Berlin. He went to other yeshivas. He thanks Chaim Berlin. I also thank Chaim Berlin. He learned much better there because he didn't have pressure there. They didn't push him to, you gotta learn. They didn't have that. Chaim Berlin was like, whatever, when he was there, it was, Mamela he learned. So you don't pressure somebody, you go much further. You don't tell a guy all day, you gotta do this. You don't do that with the Abishta either. You don't do that with him. I gotta have this. So many people coming over to me, I had so much bטחון and nothing happened. bטחון and nothing happened. I mean, it's not working. Because you're pressuring. Bug off. You ever hear that? how do you know it's bטחון? It's a rotzen, but I want it so much, and I try to sit back and say the magic words. Neman alaya shayfit. Neman alaya shayfit. Whatever you do is fine. Maybe I accept it. Oh, you're accepting? Now watch what happens. Isn't that mighty big in the world? You accept what happened to me recently? I had my report cards that I had to bring them to school. And good old me, I lost them. Here we go again. Mendel, what's with you? You lose. You're not some Zach. Mendel said nicht some Zach. You lose your report. Now, what are you going to do now? They're waiting in school. You're going to bother the secretary. Well, make me know. Because here we go again. I'm embarrassed. Look here, look there. No. And it was just before school, and I'm good and tense, like a good American. Knows how to be tense. It's part of our religion. If we wouldn't be tense, tightness. You pick it up, you'd be surprised how the environment makes you what you are. And I'm looking here, there, and I looked everywhere. Where'd I put it in, open this, open that, open it, nothing. So I see my wife is over there, she's sitting over there on the couch over there. I tell my wife, I am so happy that the Eivishter made me a battler. I'm so thankful for the pain that I'm going through. I'm a kabel yesur ba'ava as I'm speaking. Boom! There it is, right in front of my nose. Now that happened Wednesday, let's say. Friday, I was missing. Thursday, I was missing. I had a list of all the names of the kids in my class. I wanted to call a couple of kids, the parents. I wanted to call them. Where did I put the list? Here we go again, right? Looking here, looking there. And finally I say, here we go again. This guy's a battler. It's Achmanis. And it's aggravating. You're looking, you can't find a waste of time. I'm a little stressed. I got a lot of things going on. I got to get things. I got to move, and I got to get them. I'm going, and here we go. You're losing. I say, I think my wife was there. She wasn't there. Hey, mister, I'm so thankful that I'm a battler. It's great. You know what you're doing. I'm a kabbalit as I'm speaking. Boom! There's the list in front of my nose. This happened twice within a few days. I got the message loud and clear. When you accept a difficulty, you get your Yeshua. It's beautiful. Accept it. And there's younger man accepts his wife. Suddenly the wife changes. Don't pressure. You pressure the Eibishter. Don't pressure me. The Eibishter said, do you like to be pressured? You pressured kids, you mess them up. Pressure. I know some very successful Rabbi Anisfeld, he tells me he deals with Mitziyonim. These are top guys. I have gotten phone calls from many Bachrim who told me I am the best Bachar in my yeshiva. This happened many times. And I am suffering till Shemayim. I'm steiging and I'm going nowhere. What's that from? The psychologists say there's pressure going on. So the guy's functioning, but there's a gun standing in his head and says, you better learn. Now, you're good in learning, but that's not the way to learn. You don't learn with a gun in your chas v'sholom. You learn with a shema. And they have to get rid of that gun. There's something, the parents, whatever, in their lives or their own self-imposed. You got to do it. So you mess up everything. So you lose everything. You have to act with bטחון, with menucha. You can't function when you're being pressured. So don't pressure the Eibishter. Leave him alone. I must have this. Once I have this, then I'll be happy. And people are in such dinyonos. Oh yeah, that's when you'll start kvetching. You don't know what kvetching is. Once you get that, then that's all I need. I just need that. Then I just need a little panasa. Oh, then I'm all right. You want to be all right? Sit down right now. Hamokum asher ata oimet olav admas kedushu. Chavetz Chaim. It's perfect the way it is. Don't bother me. Soon, tomorrow, we'll be happy. No, I'm happy right here. You want to steig? I got to steig. Steiging means, being sameach b'chalkei. You want to steig? Be happy with exactly the way it is. It's a lifetime job. Be happy with the way it is. Boy, do I got stories. All right, I got a story. A lady, this guy, a friend of mine, him and his wife were dealing with a couple. And they're already holding by talking about, it's time to shine. We had enough. Self-esteem could kill anything, kill a marriage. Self-esteem. You know, younger man, he used to have such service from his kids because he viewed his kids as elephants and himself as a mouse. That's exactly the way he saw them. The kids. You know, Chaim Getzel, by the way, is 5.5. Chaim Getzel, are we doing a good job? The truth, Chaim Getzel. Are we really good parents? What's your opinion? Chaim Getzel, we really want to know. And we have to be nice to Chaim Getzel. He's a 20th century bubble, 20th century kid, I want to tell you something. My class this year, I was never so tough. I mean, in recent years, I kill him. I tell Bob. Bob says, how you doing today? You're ready to kill all the kids, Bob. Can I have your gun? Please, Bob? I'm just kidding. Now there's a big chassid of mine who hears me all the time. And he says, you're okay, Mendel, but I didn't like that gun joke. So let's delete the gun joke. Let's not talk like that. Oh, it's not nice. Okay. But anyway, I'd like to be funny. When you're under pressure to be funny, he say things anyway. He gets under pressure. Right? The pressure. Anyway. So, what? Chayes HaKodesh. Those little, they have to be, do you like those shoes? The mothers come big, heavy, heathenish, a grown, she's not a 2-year-old, bending down, she can barely, the kid is like this. The kid is skinny little, yes, mommy, a kid can barely talk. Do you want those shoes? My sister-in-law used to have a shoe store, and she told me 90% of the situations are the kid is in charge, and she deals with little boobies, and the mother bends down. Is it okay with you? No, mommy, I don't like them. I told you. Okay. I'll have to get you other shoes. Anyway, it's funny. I asked my class this year. I've been very tough with them. For whatever reason, I had to be. That's how I felt. And I asked the kid, you tell me, boys, how many boys feel it was good for them to have a tough Rebbe that finally got you to behave? A whole bunch of kids raised their hands. They said, for a change, I'm sitting straight because I'm zero tolerance. I don't tolerate this stuff. I am a Harry myself, by the way. I'm not denying it. I'm red, white, and blue, you realize. But sometimes you just got out of sanity. You have to give a class. You don't have a choice. You have to be tough. But kids appreciate it. Okay, whatever. Let's get back to Eibishter. Don't pressure the Eibishter. You didn't help me. People have complaining to me. You should know these things. People, why is the Eibishter so doesn't like me? A lot of that stuff She doesn't like me. Why does he do this to me? I hate this stuff. Rabbi say, on Hanukkah, you got to be thankful. When you're thankful, don't thank for your good wife, for your nice, good kids. Thank for the fact that you're married. Bug off. You're married. You're not happy, huh? You don't have time. You never say it once to the Eibishter, thanks that I'm married. Oh, you want to be a bacher? You want to be a bacher, huh? That's better. Why did you say thank you that you're married? By the way, and the bacherim, of course. Don't forget to say, thanks that I'm not married. You have to do that. All the divorced guys have to say, Baruch Hashem divorced. Gan Eden atachten. Being divorced. Got rid of that. A lot of them have charata. I know cases. They hate her until they got divorced. I know a few, the guys told me. They missed the old one. They're on the second, they're on the, I don't know what they're on the third. I know somebody who's married 10 times. Anyways, I know a guy's married about 3-4 times, and he was inviting me to the chasana. And I says, I'm forgetful with chasanas I miss. He says, don't worry, you'll get on the next one. So, get divorced. Why not? Let's get divorced. And now in America, get divorced that's no problem. Get divorced. So nowadays, they're all over the place. Get divorced. I want out. No, I cannot deal with this. No. If you would know what I go through. The abuse, the degradation that I've had ever since I got married. What I go through. That's because you don't learn Musa. I'm so cold, this is terrible. I hope the wrong people aren't listening to me today. Because if they don't learn Musa, then I'm takameen. But if they learn Musa, they know exactly what I'm talking about. Learn Musa, Meshugana! You get Bezyetis. The Meiser Yosef Atzadik, he was called. Rabbi Yosef, the Rav of Posen, Rabbi Yehuda's son-in-law. He was a tzaddik Yisrael Deilam, and his wife screamed at him all his life. You think my husband's a tzaddik? Baloney, I know him better. And he sat there, and this in front of the whole crowd. Everyone's watching, and there she goes. There goes the Rebbetzin. They hated her. That's how she treats her husband, such a tzaddik. They hated her until he was nifta. And she asked to speak, and they said, and they didn't want it. They hated her like Rabbi Sai. Guess who told me to act like a schnook? He did. As soon as I got married, he said he wants me to act like this. And they say he shook his head. You could see it wasn't in a box, whatever. Shook his head. She's right. He asked her, but as soon as no, he asked for it. And they hated her. What you hate her for? He was an Eved Hashem. If you're not an Eved Hashem, then you got problems. You're not an Eved Hashem. You're even covered. If you're not an Eved Hashem, all you want is covered. All the abuse and degradation and you take that from him, it's all covered. They didn't speak. They didn't give you your holy covered that you're so desperate for. Like, I want more covered. They hold for me. They like me. You're a baby. You stay a baby till you're 99. You don't. In fact, you get worse. You're looking for covered. You stay. Sachmanis. Covered. They didn't like. It didn't make such a good impression. Really, it wasn't. Didn't go so good. The guys didn't like it. Really? Yeah. It's no good. Didn't make impression. Didn't make impression. They look at me like one of those. That's your whole life. COVID. But when you're an Eved Hashem, you're laughing at the world, especially if you're Novandik. They know how to laugh. Novandik is roll. Oh, you want to, Reb Gersh, I remember somebody, I'm the list again, didn't like a shidduch. And the official reason was he's an American guy. His heart didn't, did tzitnisht. Heart didn't do with this girl. Reb Gershon heard that, he went berserk. He didn't know what he's talking about. What's he can marry you? My nafkamina. Don't you dare listen to this one. This is not for us. I can hear that. I know 3 or 4 true stories where I know one story at a Novhardik marriage. This Novhardik was in some derfel somewhere, and the Rav's wife, this is the Zayda of somebody who lives in Lakewood, a woman who lives in Lakewood. This is how Zayda did this, or Hilta Zayda. And he was a far-flung place, and he was in the house of the Rav, and the Rav pointed out to him, you see, my daughter, she has TB, tuberculosis. She's not a well person. And never who's ever going to marry her. He didn't chap. He's talking to an Novhardik. Oh, you have problem marrying a Rav because she's sick, she's not well? I have no trouble with that. I'm marrying her. Goodbye. Rachmanis. Who's going to marry her? I'm here. I want to do a chesed. You have a musik? But Novhardik is crazy. You think they weren't happy? A guy like us, now how do I do with this peckle I just got myself into? And I would not recommend anybody to do that.
Didn't the Alter marry also somebody?
Yeah, for sure. The Alter himself. He married sight unseen. I'm marrying her. Because they just broke up. She couldn't do a shidduch. The Alter of Novhardik, she couldn't do a shidduch. She was an older girl. And Reb Shlomo was the father. Reb Shlomo was the one that got the Alter Beis Abdidus. And he used to give him to eat and everything. It was Makatay Reb Shlomo. And then one day he hears the house is screaming all over the place. He comes and what happened? And he says, they just broke off the shidduch between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Goodbye. They were about to get me. She finally got a poor bachel that nobody wanted. She finally was willing to marry her. And they were, at least someone's going to marry her. And then he broke off just before I met somebody who knew her. He said she was fine. So I don't know. I don't know, maybe, but I don't know, according to the Novhardik, yeah, she was a nice lady. The Bachram once did something with the laundry and she didn't mind, she didn't get upset. I don't know. But so the Alter standing there, the Alter tells Reb Shlomo, you need a shidduch for your daughter? Who's ever going to marry her now? No one wanted her before this. Now he broke off an engagement. She's finished. She'll never get married. Hashem Yerachem. Reb Shlomo and his wife are screaming. The girl who's sitting there crying. What's the problem? Said the Alter. I'm here. And the Alter was wanted by all the Gdolim. The Alter von Kelm's daughter was supposed to get him. The whole world was after him. He was an almond. It was the second time around. He says, no problem. I'll marry her. And, are you serious? Yes. All right, I want a Tkiyas Kop. Tkiyas Kop, here. Tkiyas Kop. Go, Tkiyas, on the spot. Marrying her. He got flagged from that. Now the Haskalah was after him. They were going to say about him, a young girl. He saw her and he liked her. Blah, blah, blah. And they were telling him, you're turning over the world. You get married a girl like this, a young girl, much younger, whatever. Well, whatever. It was, the world was turning over. He got telegrams. I think of Bitzel Petterberg, the Gedoyle Yolim were after him, the Bali Musif. You're ruining it for everybody, you know. Now the Haskalah is really going to be on our case. And we lost it. The Alter, and Reb Shlomo was nervous, like, he's going to give it. The Alter looks at him, don't worry about what they say. I'm marrying her. No. The Alter had b'tachon in the Mavish, he married her. And I know, so this other case I'm telling you about, that he married this, what's her name again? Yeah, so he said this girl had tuberculosis. You don't marry a girl with tuberculosis. He married her. I have b'tachon. What's tuberculosis? B'tachon. He married her. He cured her. That's how the story goes. He cured her, and not only that, she worked for him. She was the Lamaisidik wife who she helped. And then he needed a house. He moved to Pardes Chanab, a place in Eretz Yisrael, and he needed a house, and he bought a lottery ticket, and he got the house. A small house. That's what I heard. Lottery ticket. Heard this from the Anikel. And then his job was a Shemer Kishuyim. He sat and learned all day. So being a Shemer Kishuyim, he watched all day like a scarecrow, whatever, to watch the crops for somebody. He was able to learn. Well, that's how he lived out his life. No problem. And the Anikel's here in Lakewood. Another Novandiga story from a Bnei Brak Yid, a very, very chashuva. Novandiga was known. The girl fell off a horse, and her whole life she was like a hiker, one of those. And I guess he had Rachmanas on her. It's okay, I'll marry you. There you go, a whole beautiful family. And he was a good-looking bacha, the husband. And she was don't give me this good-looking guy. Nobody has no patience, but he's a chashuva guy, and she's the. I heard that all the yeshiva guys in Europe, they were into, they couldn't do shidduchim. I heard from Shlomo Volva himself. The reason why you all ran to the mirror, the real reason was Rabbi Yerucham was a shadchan. That's the reason. I heard this from Shlomo Volva. Yerucham was a shadchan. They're hoping maybe we'll get married. Okay, whatever. Getting married they didn't want yeshiva life. And so they couldn't do, they wanted something decent. And the Vardig looked at all the other yeshivas and they laughed their heads off. What's the problem? Whoever it is, go marry her. You know what they did to Reb David Blacha? Somebody, David Blacha said, he was a winner. Everyone was after him. He was a star all over Europe. Big name. He was the head of Mezritcha Novandiga. Reb Gershon told me he was the Yerush of the Alta. He had the Shita, Mezritch, not Shayach. There's pictures of him smiling. He was an unbelievable person. He learned Slabotki. He was a Chavrus of Abram Grudensky. Imagine what that is. And then he came to Novandiga. It's unbelievable. He has a sefer. All the mashkichim were after that sefer. It's not Shayach. I have it. It's not. There's nothing like it. Anyway, he's the one. When he got married, how did he get married? He made an announcement. I'm marrying the next girl. I don't care who it is. Next shirach the Rebbe, getting married. So what happened? Some Chaberman who I don't know what he had for a daughter, but nothing special, you realize. He was a nobody. He found this out. He got over Shadchan on the spot. Schnell, read the shidduch. I'm getting him. This guy's real frummy. I'll fix him. I'll give him my daughter. Goodbye. He just made a nether, Kabbalah nether. He's marrying the next girl. So he read him in that shidduch. In walks nobody minus his daughter. And he says, no problem. I had a Kabbalah. Next one I'm marrying. You're the one. We're married. He got married. He had a full house. I heard she turned out fine. But once something happened. Because he was once learning Musa Barabim. And it says in Chazal like this. It says like this. Hashem, Darkeish, Gam Oivav Yashemita. You know what it's a pasuk of Mishlei, no? It says Hashem, Darkeish. If Hashem likes you, even your enemies will become your friends. So there's a nusus, even your wife will become your friend. So he said, B'kol Ram, in the base Spanish, everybody heard him. Hashem, Darkeish. Come Ishtoya, even your wife will straighten out with you. Aha, what's going on at home? He didn't care. The parties are open books. That's some shalom advice. Don't do it. Don't do it. We're not up to that. I don't know, but Kam Ishtoya, he said a parabam. Kam Ishtoya mitai. If I behave myself, my wife will be good. It's unbelievable. Anyway. They didn't attach so much. Listen. We're not them, but next time you get upset with your wife, or your shver, or your shvige, or your son, or your daughter, bug off. It's your problem. How come my child, why manishtana, why does Hashem treat me? You know how many people tell me this? Why does Hashem treat me this and treat me that? And I say, if you're in the Novandic world where everything is midas, are you working on kas or not? You have a problem because of him, because of her. You have an old problem. You've been angry since you're 2 years old when you screamed at your mother. So now it's your wife. But she's really bad. Yeah, we know. Novandic wouldn't. They have no rachmanis. The Rabbi Gershon once got together, Rav Shach, I think it was, speaking about what would the yeshivas accomplish and learning that. Rabbi Gershon said, well, what have I accomplished? There's not one divorce in my place, all right? That's my accomplishment. They ain't getting divorced in the Novandic. That was his accomplishment. Because they just don't believe, oh, we take that cup. You want to trade an assign for another assign. By the way, I want to tell you something. Look, this is not for us. But it is for us. It's kedai to hear it. It's kedai to hear it. The Hoiben Yidin who lived a different way of thinking. Did she look good? Is she not good? Is she wearing this? And look, we're human, and we can't play games and become the Vardigas overnight. But there will be many, many rainy days when she ain't going to be, and you ain't going to be what you're supposed to be, and this ain't going to be. Remember Navadik, and it'll calm you down from all your troubles. Remember, there were hundreds of Yidden live like this. Happy lives! So nothing to worry about. Now I have here in front of me, Parshas Vayeshev, is Novandic. Whoever didn't see, it's in Kudas HaEmes, Perik Daled, Perik Gimel, I think. Misha Leira, if you haven't seen this, just forget it. Leira Iris Miyamav. Bikish Yaakov Leisha B'Shalva. Yaakov wants to calm down. Abe says, no, it's not enough. You have Olam Haba, you need Olam Haza also. Rugze Shal Yosef. Now I give you a Taurus. Thank the Alta. Abishah doesn't fagin that Yaakov should have a good life. So he has a shmooze here about Nisyanis. Without Nisyanis, you ain't worth a penny. Younger man comes over to me and he says, he's a very dehoibin younger man. I know this guy. Boy, is he a tzaddik. I hold from him. He's in my books. And recently, this different guy. You don't recognize him. He fell, whatever, something happened. Boom, can't recognize him. He's a different person. And all day and all night, he has to fight with a new Yetzer Hara he never had before. Brand new. And he's going out of his mind. And so I told him, when do you think it was better, then or now? According to the Alta, now! When you type Pam B'Tzar V'Meya B'Litzar. You know that I heard this from Moshe Blumberg. You know Moshe Blumberg? Was macht ihr? Guten Tag, macht sich heimisch. Moshe Blumberg tells me the 3 wars are going to be first World War, Second World War, the Third World War before the Gula will be in Ruchnius. A war in Ruchnius. This guy's fighting for change. He was sitting, look, he comes from Gaza Shel Kedoshim. You know, this guy comes from Kedoshim all over the place, people who had it all. So he had it all. Find a guy, what's Daibin? He was born into, he has a good head since he's born, and he does everything right, and he's the big shot, he's related to all the Knackers, and he's all the, I'm not impressed. Now I'm impressed. He had a big Yerida, and he's struggling. He doesn't have any coming and going. Now I'm impressed, because he's fighting a war against the Yetzer Hara. It's a battle. Now you're choshev. Toy Pam B'Tzar Meya B'Litzar. How can you compare? Meya B'Litzar. Well, it's chusiv, he should thank Hashem a million times. He's fighting, and you're not mechiv to win. You're not mechiv. You're mechiv to do the best you can. But be a fighter. He comes to me, this guy. I have a whole thing. I have guys calling me up for CAS issues. Don't ask. All over the time issues, everything. Issues with the wife. It's not an issue. The first thing, whenever you have an issue with the wife, don't give me your wife. It's you, always. I kill them. It's not your wife. What do you want from her? You're the wise guy around here. Oh. I once told the guy, if I would deal with ladies, I would say the same thing. Don't bother me, your husband's a nasty guy. You're the problem. That's what I would say. I don't know if the ladies are ashamed. But that's the only way to go. You want to steig. You came here to steig, not to live happily ever after. You have to steig and work on your midos. You'll be happy. The only happy person is the person that learns Musa. He works on his midas. I asked Rabbi Zatzal, how could I be Meiser Nefesh on Chanukah? I don't have that situation. He says, you want to be Meiser Nefesh? You want to be Meiser Nefesh? You do like this. Close your Gemara and open the Musa Sefer. Siras Nefesh. We hope you'd rather learn. You're holding by learning. You know how hard it is to open that Musa Sefer? You know her husband, Rabbi used to do? I just spoke to the Rebbitzin the other night. She called me up. And I asked her about her husband. What he used to do, he used to write day and night, writing. He didn't stop working on himself. Writing thank yous to the Eibishter day and night. Right, thank you. They're going to go Chanukah. What's Chanukah? When are you going to light? Which shita? And make a lebedik. It's a big zach. Make a Chanukah extravaganza. It's good news. Believe me, Rabbi, I encourage. The more the better. Leave them alone. Don't be a musanik. That kills everybody's fun. Let them enjoy. And sit and learn. Sit and learn and eat some latkes fresa bissel. And you'll get elam haba for every bite. Every bite of latkes, elam haba. You have to be machshib. I want to tell you something. Why are ants? Ants, the Gemara says that nafshi shalom katzami manu, right? A person disgusted, and you're going to get schar. What's that? Why are you getting schar for not eating shkotzim or amochim and ants? You don't even want to do it. What's the shot of the whole thing? I think the Torah wants to teach us. It's a binyan of be machshav everything you do. Don't make away with nothing. You eating latkes? Respect that. Respect those eating latkes. It's an inyan. Go for it. Enjoy those latkes. We're going to get Olam Haba for eating latkes with relish. Ask Yishmak, Matam and Masharoi. It says by Yitzchak Avinu. The Mama Rivka said, get him some food that he enjoys. Yitzchak Avinu, Oyla Tamima. And by Vayetzachek Mishta, it says also, up in the pasuk, how do you say such a thing? Hey, look at Torah. It's Yitzchak Avinu. Enjoy life, Rabbi Sai. And then you're Mavarachas Hashem. Then you're a happy person. You enjoy life. You're happy. You enjoy those latkes. Don't be a zafruma. Well, I'm not really learning enough. Oh, it's not a bad idea to learn more. I'm not. If anyone who has any brains know that a black Gemara tastes much better than latkes. How can you compare? But I'm just kidding. It's fine. You're not up to the fine. Who said who's up to the latkes? Latkes. Make sure your wife makes the good ones. Go into the kitchen. Babala. This Chanukah, we're going to do tshuva. Before Zois Chanukah. This Chanukah, you're going to make decent latkes for a change. you better do tshuva right now. Instead of be mama panecha. Don't talk like that to your wife. You're crazy. That's the way you talk to the ladies. They work so hard in the kitchen. For a change. That's how you talk. I'm kidding. I'm just joking. But enjoy that latke and thank Hashem for the fun that He gives you. And I like potatoes. I like the Eibishter's potatoes. You want your Shemayim? Eat potatoes. I'm serious. We have to eat. I have a whole vod. I don't want to say, can I say a vod? I avoid Vetlik. The other one's stories are jokes. I mean, let's face it. I mean, I told it over. It's going to be in the Bטחון. I have a bumba that shaya. But whatever, the whole of you say to the book. I tied it the reason why Yaakovino married Rachel, because she was pretty. It's much from the psukim. That's why I tied it. Dafka wanted, because Shmir say Yesod, the pretty wife. I have a whole thing over there. And he learned a lot of Torah with Yosef, because Yosef is going to be into Shmir say Yesod, and Shmir say Yesod needs Ligan 11. Or else you're not going to fight that Yetzirah so easily. So he had to make him the biggest Ben Torah in the family. And why did he love him more than anyone else? You know why? Rab Chaim Tzvi Fogel's Angels in Shtag Yerushalayim told me the bodies from the biggest of the Chevron Oilam. He told me, why did, when Yosef saw the picture of his father, stop him from doing an Avera? Because he remembered, Yisrael Aves Yosef Mikol Bonov. He loves me. I'm not going to sin. I want to tell you something. Shmir say, there's three rules. Rule one is, if you're married, Matzelas Menachet, your wife. She looks good. She looks great. Your wife is the only good-looking lady in the world. All the other ladies are never Baruch Hashem. That's Aleph. Your wife is unbelievable. Say it till you believe it. No, I'm just joking. Kitzer. But it's true. But that's your wife, that's it. So you marry your father, she married the Mama Rachel. Now, it's one thing, a wife saves you. The Blat Gemara saves you. And 3, if your father loves you, there's a pasuk they touch, I don't know if it's B'derech Halotz or whatever, it's Nashku Bar, Penya Nap. Kiss your son or else he's going to be a noyef. Ooh, what's that? If there's a lot of love in the home, you have no interest in Tivus. Do you know that? I know of a family, I don't even know if they're Jewish, a bunch of beautiful girls who went to college with all they do, Kol Davar Asa, and they had no interest in the whole sugya that every guy's liggy, they're in here, they're tell here, that's all they talk about and think about is Tisha K'av Mavznus. That's America. That's the world. And these girls, Goyim, they had no shaykhs. Why? Because the home was so full of love. People who are full of love don't need nothing. It's a shtakazach. Shol Av es Bonov. He saw his father's picture. He loved me. I can't do this stuff. That's something. Anyways, that's my point. I wanted to tie that. That's why he told Esav, a tzaddik can have all the fun that Russia has in a kosher way. Like, you see that Yitzchak was into eating, and Esav was halitayim. You know, a camel opens his mouth more wide than a cow. Take a look at the Gemara in Shabbos. He's number one in looking like an animal. And Esav, it says, opened his mouth like a camel. He was spitz when he fressed. He knew how to fress. His father was all into good food. They're both. Yitzchak and Esav got along. They're both into eating good food. The shal is how you going to do it. Look the way Esav eats. And Yaakov and Yitzchak Avinu eats. He also enjoys good food. But how are you going to do it? Whatever the Rishayim have, it's a Sefer Hasidim. It's a famous thing. That we have all the fun they have in a kosher eifin. If you have patience, that's what Yaakov says, I got to go slow, Esav. You got to hurry, but I'm going la'iti. That's what it says. We go slow. We're going to have all the fun you guys have, but we go slow. There's an Elam Haba. We take our time. We get married in a normal way. We don't run after Vespas like you said. That was my vote. So that's the vote. A person could have all the fun in the world in a kosher eifin. Do it right. So eat those latkes and enjoy yourself. And have a happy Chanukah. And we'll bring the Gula Shleimah Yetz Hashem. Now I want to tell you another vote. Half of the Gavod. Tell you half of the Gavod. Matisyo Zalzang isn't stark, set a bomb. Chanukah is the one time you actually ask in the Nusach HaTfilah, you ask for Nisim. If you forget Al Nisim, you say Rachman Yasal Nisim Reflois, ask for Nisim. It's the Nusach HaTfilah. So you see Chanukah is Nisim. Look at Rabashkin. If you believe in V'zayis Chanukah works for you. Charles, do you believe in V'zayis Chanukah? You got to work on that. Believe, Zeus Chanukah, bring you all the Yeshuas in the world. What happened to me last Zeus Chanukah? I needed $14,000 right now. It's getting just like last time. I had 3 people promised me 1,000 each, or that's what I was hoping. Nobody showed up. Now I got another guy at 500. I'm still waiting for last week's Bטחון weekly. But this is exactly what happened last Chanukah. And the kids, I was worked on Bטחון and the Zeus Chanukah, and the Kailim are on my case. They're all running after this guy wants 1,000. This guy wants to come every day. I got another phone call. You owe me money. You owe me money. So I had Bטחון and Zeus Chanukah. $14,000 popped up. You remember that, no? So it was Zeus Chanukah, no? So you believe in Zeus Chanukah, it works. I got my 14,000. Rabashkin got out of jail. If you believe in the power of Chanukah, it's gonna work. It's up to you. So anyway, but the time the Ask for Nisim said from out the show. So I wanted to add something to what he said. Guess who asked for Nisim? Not the guy who did not forget Al-Nisim. The guy who forgot, the Nebuchadnezzar. He's the one who has the right to ask for Nisim. See that? All the Nebuchadnezzars. They're the lucky guys. The Nebuchadnezzars are lucky guys. They're the ones that ask for Nisim. The one who forgot. Oh, here he goes. You forgot again. I forgot, but now I know some guys, they try to forget. They want that film. I forget, I'll get it after. You say it at the end of Shemoneh Esrei, then you say, give me Nisim. So it's great to forget. You know, the Eibishter has a makam. He loves everybody. He has a makam for everybody. I remember Chaim Berlin. You know what Novandig looked like on Hanukkah. Pasternak told me. So that's all he told me what Novandig looked like on Hanukkah. First of all, Hanukkah was more. Their Hanukkah was like a Simchas Torah here. It was not Shayach. They danced, they knocked. You know what the Novandigas did with David Blach's Chasana? They broke the wedding hall. They fell in the feet. They were knocking on the. You know, the truth is we have never seen a real European Jew. We never really saw them. We saw them after the war. First of all, they were older. Second of all, they were weak. They were broken. You know, they went through the war. You don't know what they looked like before the war. I once saw the Munkacher. The Munkacher Rebbe made a chasana for his daughter, his only daughter. From it, whatever her name was. He made a chasana for his daughter, and they took movies of it. And I saw them. There's younger light dancing over there. Oh boy, they love it. These Europeans that we see here, they never looked like that when we saw. They're very knackadik. They're well dressed. A bunch of ladies over there fighting with the cops. You saw that? You saw that? Fighting with the Goyish cops. They're fighting because the cops made a line. You can't go by. Get out of here! You don't tell us what to do. Young, you know, they were young. These. Anyway, so I saw the. What was I talking about? What? Yeah.
They broke the floor. They were dancing so hard.
What?
They broke.
That's right. Yes, I saw them knocking. And the Vardik, they were dynamic. I heard from Rebbe and Bender. Energetic. They were fire. The Vardikas were full of fire. They were levitic. They were dynamic. They were charismatic. He describes them. Rav Nekwitz describes them in the book about. He wrote a whole the Novandig stories where they had these super koiches. The Alta had his boys. He had bombs one after another, big names. They used to walk in the whole place and love this guy and that guy was. When they used to daven for the Yamid and Yom Narayim, this one, they said the whole place was going crazy over this one. They had koiches and koiches and koiches. They developed people very well over there. And they brought out their koiches. The guy wasn't sleeping over there. Everybody was taught to do pratim, 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 pratim. So he turned into a powerhouse. He was ready to take over the world. They could do Zachem that like. Anyway, yeah, so they fell in. That's how the story goes in his chasana. They crashed through it was 2 floors. The top floor, the feet came right through, boom, and all the plastic came down. Nobody got hurt. And the big mice, the second mice was that the balabas didn't have any tightness on them. They got away with it yet. But the way they used to dance. But Reb Gershon did the following. This is what Pasternak, Lichtigan told me. First of all, he told me that Novandig was not far from Hasidus. He said they were not too far from Hasidus at all. They were singing, and if you ever went to France, there were 2 different Novandigs that I knew. There was Novandig in New York, Novandig in France. Novandig in New York, walk in there, you'll feel the Kedusha. It's Kodesh Kadoshim. You feel it. Rav Yafen, Rav Nekwitz, these are Malachim. They had a minyan there. There's no suffix, one after another, Ruach HaKodesh. It's klar that one after another had Ruach HaKodesh without a suffix. Rav Weinkrantz and Emil, his yard site's coming up. He had big Ruach HaKodesh. You know what he used to do? He wanted to know if he should do a shidduch. He said, bring out a picture. There's what's with the yichus of the guy is he just bring up a picture. He took one. As git, go get married. It's gonna work. Then another one. This one, don't marry him. You do, in 2 weeks you're divorced. He used to do this left and right. I had advice with my own daughter. She wanted a certain shidduch. I didn't want it. He asked her one question, and she chopped that it wasn't for her. He was not shaykh. Novandig is what had Gevaldige Keiches. Anyway, so he remembers Pasternak was one of that Chevra. Pasternak had tzoros. He was miyuchad. He had a lot of tzoros. Anyway, and I used to see him at Chassan, dancing, and he was flying like a younger man. He was a big speaker too. At every opportunity, at every Shevarachs, he took over the show. He didn't ask no questions. He was in charge. All right, he became self-made MC right away. Okay, now you go. He was you know what else I saw that by Ben Sam Brooks' son? He came here for collecting money wherever he knew nobody. Gets up, he took over the whole Sheva Brooks where I was one time. The Novandigs are known for that. The old ones, they were always taking over the show. Always, they got to talk. They got to be the big shot. They got Adam for the Yamid. These are all pratim that brings out a person. By the way, you know, past next to Vaya, they had hundreds of American boys that he was makar. They loved him. He was a big kayach. I don't know, he taught in some school somewhere. They say that he had these big, he was a short fellow, and these big American guys start up with me, modern guys. He turned them around, and they tried to mess with him. He said, "You want to start for the new hat? You buy yourself a new house, my house. You're gonna have half as many guests that we hold, chas v'shalom. But these things happen. People, a nice suit. You know what? Stress comes along. They have. I know a guy. He's a Lubavitcher guy. He's a tighter guy. He works here in the cheder. He said, by us, you put on a hat, it's Del Netzach. Who tells you to change it? Sit there. Sit for Netzach. What do you care? That's the new hat. Were you looking for a shidduch? What's going on here? Where is Netzach? It's ha'ara. It's ha'ara. I'm not saying I know nobody's is, but it's ha'ara. The Novandigs laughed at the world, and they made a chayzik out of everybody's watching for the COVID. Don't say anything. People might laugh at you. Oh, yes. The world says, you want to be nothing, do nothing. You want to avoid criticism? Say nothing, be nothing, and do nothing. Avoid criticism. I advise, do pratim as much as you can. We're going to make a yeshiva soon. By the way, I want to bring back the Novandig back. I had a call from Belgium, a bacha in Belgium. He's a Taira, very chashuv bacha from Antwerpen. He says he has a whole Novandig group, and we're going to make a network if anybody wants to get involved in organizing. In Lakewood Gufa, we have 5 different Novandig groups of Yungalite who have an interest. Let's bring it back. What do we do? He gave me a beautiful suggestion. I didn't have a certain Mesiras Nefesh that passes for Novandig that I think we can all do. And I'd like to get together with such a guy, make a whole network. We get together, let's say, once a month, and we'll press a button. We'll all listen to each other. We'll get a branch in Eretz Yisrael. branch in Flatbush, whatever. We'll make neo-Novanig. What do you say to that?
Yes.
Right? And bring back the old Drachim of Novanig. Yeb Zahal V'Zeichel Gilo Shalema B'Kol of Mamish.